This is Amy O, and I'm here with another Wednesday Wellness Web Chat. I am standing out here today in front of my RV because it is such a pretty day that I decided to film from outside. Anyway, so this is kind of the intro part. Just to remind you, I'm Amy O, and I am a doTERRA wellness advocate, as well as a full-time RVer, photographer, writer, and pet mama. So, anyway, my website is oilswithamyo.com, and the topic today I'm going to be discussing is what are doTERRA oils? What are essential oils? That's been the other question I've been getting a lot of the past few days. What exactly are essential oils? Some people, they've heard of them, they kind of know about them, but they're really still a little unsure about what they are and how they can be used. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, so with that said, let's get going. Is an essential oil? I've had this question, as I mentioned, posed to me a couple of times this week, and I wanted to go ahead and address it here in the web chat. So an essential oil, I'm going to reference my class sheet very quickly, but essential oils basically are plants. They're plant-based oils, and they get the oils either from the plant seed, bark, stems, root, flowers, some other part of the plant, or sometimes it's the entire plant. They take these oils that doTERRA finds the best place for these to grow, and they source them from that area, and that way we are ensured that we are getting the best of the best. It's typically native land where these plants are from, so these plants thrive in this area, giving doTERRA the best oils possible. They are also harvested at a precise time that doTERRA has scientifically determined when's the best time to harvest these, what's the best process for these. So essential oils have been around for thousands of years. If you remember in the Bible, the three wise men, they brought to baby Jesus the gold, the frankincense, and myrrh, and those were essential oils, and they were used back then. Only, royalty was usually, they were reserved for royalty because they were that rare and precious and that effective. So royalty used them for the wellness aspect, to keep them well and healthy. They also used it for beauty purposes, to keep them looking young. doTERRA, not doTERRA, but essential oils as a whole, they've been around for thousands of years. doTERRA has taken the best of the best, to ensure that their products are top of the line. So just like a really good tennis shoe, because I've been trying to find something to compare this to, but a really good tennis shoe, it's you're going to probably pay a little bit more for a really great tennis shoe, but it's going to not only just feel good on your feet, but it's going to help improve your posture. It's going to help if you're a runner. There are so many different aspects that just that one shoe can benefit your entire life, and it's the same way with these oils. They're not just here to smell good. They have properties to them that help with health and wellness, as well as mood management and emotional benefits to these. So that is essential oils. They are just tiny little drops, and there are about 250 drops in this bottle. One or two is usually enough, but they do have many different benefits. Each one has very specific things that it can be used for, very specific areas that it can be used for. And doTERRA also has blends, which is just obviously a combination of the different oils that would increase its benefit. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next segment. So how to use an essential oil. As I've talked about in a previous web chat, there are 3 different ways to use the essential oils: aromatically, topically, and internally. And as a reminder, not all oils can be used all 3 ways. And I'm going to show you an easy way to determine that in just a moment. But first of all, I'm going to reference my class sheet again to talk about the 3 different ways, using some different oils this time to demonstrate. So the first one is Breathe, and it's the respiratory blend. And I have found that when I diffuse this at nighttime, it really helps while I'm asleep. It's purifying the air, and it's helping to open up my airwaves. And I have just found that it really helps me the next morning counter just kind of everyday allergens that I wake up with. It counters that, and I found that by diffusing this at nighttime, it really helps. So That's aromatically. And then the next one is internally, we've got On Guard. And so On Guard is the protective blend, and it supports healthy immune system and respiratory function as well. And so how this can be used internally, many ways, but on our class sheet it just talks about this can be put in water and you can gargle with it, or use it as a mouth rinse, just because of its protective elements that it has in the blend. Another way to use this internally is if you get a bowl and chop up some apple slices and add some water and then put like a drop of the On Guard in there. It's got a cinnamony component to it. Cinnamon is one of the ingredients in it, and I mean, it's amazing, and especially for this time of year, fall. I mean, it's a wonderful little recipe, but that's just one of many. And so then the third way to use essential oils is topically, and Deep Blue is the soothing blend, and it's a wonderful one to use topically because you can rub it on sore, achy muscles. Parents who have children kind of going through growing pains, wish my parents had this whenever I was in middle school and I was experiencing my little growth spurt, and I mean, it hurt, and this would help alleviate some of those symptoms. So those are the 3 different ways. But again, it is not where all of the oils can be used. They cannot all be used all 3 ways. Some can, but not all of them. And so in the next segment of talking about safety, I'm going to show you how you can figure that out just by looking at the bottle of doTERRA oil that you've got. Essential oil safety. So as I mentioned, not all oils can be used all 3 ways. And you might be asking, how do I know? How would I know? doTERRA makes it really easy. So if you just go and take your bottle of oil, whatever you've got, if you look on here, some of them will have supplemental facts and some of them don't. That's one way to tell. If it's got supplemental facts, it means it can be taken internally to some degree. If it does not have supplemental facts and it just lists the ingredients, automatically tells you cannot be used internally. It can be used most likely aromatically and topically, but not internally. One case, just every oil is kind of different. So one in particular I want to mention, so oregano has supplemental facts. It can be taken internally, but oregano is also what is considered a hot oil. It will burn, and so you do not want to go and take this and like put it on your tongue directly. If you're going to take it internally, because it's really good for like during flu season, it helps boost the immune system and protects us from whatever is in the air and keeps us from getting sick. Oregano is a really good booster for the immune system, but you'd want to take the little veggie cap, put a drop in the veggie cap, and then take it like that internally. It's also wonderful to use in recipes. So if you're making a batch of spaghetti sauce and you want to take a drop and put it in there, or if it's a smaller batch, maybe it's just for 1 or 2 people and you don't need an entire drop, you can also take a clean toothpick and stick it in the bottle and then pull it out, and it's kind of just damp. It don't even get a whole drop on there, but just damp, and then stir it into your dish, and that's usually enough. Again, these are very potent little drops. Less is more. You want to start out slowly and kind of be like, okay, I could use a little more, than the other way where you're like, wow, this is way too much. So start slowly, kind of build up and see how much you can use. I mean, even with the peppermint, it's on the bottle, it will also say, in addition to supplemental, it will also give you instructions. So here on the peppermint, for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4 ounces of liquid. Well, I found for me that that's still too strong for me. I mean, I usually do 1 drop in 8 ounces or 12 ounces, and that's plenty. So, some of it's going to be to taste. Everybody's different. But on the bottle is where it's going to tell you, how it can be used. So again, with this peppermint, it's got, it tells me how to use it internally. And then if I, twist it just a little bit, it also says for aromatic or topical use, diffuse aromatically, or apply topically. And it recommends going ahead and diluting it with fractured coconut oil or some kind of a carrier oil if you're going to put it directly on your skin. Some you know, again, everybody's skin is a little bit different, so you always want to just do a little tester area, make sure there's no reaction. Again, something like oregano, just know, don't put that on your skin. It's gonna burn and it's gonna hurt. So what you would need to do is grab fractured coconut oil, put some in your hand, and then put the drop of oregano. And I don't know why anybody would want to smell like oregano just to smell like it, but you know, that's just an example that, you know, if something's going to be strong, or let's say your skin is sensitive to peppermint, you would want to go and put some fractured coconut oil in your hand, and then the drop of peppermint, and then rub it together and apply it, you know, apply it to wherever topically. One other one I want to point out is some of these are photosensitive, meaning that when it gets in the sun can cause, when it's hitting it directly, it can cause a burn on the skin. And one of those is bergamot. And so I read a story where they were talking about some girls had gone to the beach, and they had put bergamot on there just, you know, for the relaxing properties of it. And whenever they went out in the sun, it burned them, because it says on the bottle, again, the bottle has so much information on it, and on the bottle it just talks about avoid sunlight or UV rays for up to 12 hours after applying product. Because again, it can burn the skin. Same thing with lemon. If you have lemon on your skin in any capacity, if you're putting it on the back of your neck, and then you've got long hair or you've got a collar, the sun's not going to be able to directly impact that. So you know, but if the sun can get to it, just be mindful. There are so many safety aspects of this, and you know, it says, and you know, hopefully we all know enough about you know, pain to know that we don't want to get this anywhere near our eyes. We don't ever want to use oils around our eyes. We don't ever want to put it in our ear canal. Be careful around the nose and other sensitive areas. If you should get it in your eye, what you need to do is grab a carrier oil. The carrier oil will, it's sort of like it gives that oil that's in your eye that's not supposed to be. It gives it something to attach to, and then it can be flushed. But do not go directly for the water, because oil and water don't mix, and it will only push the oil further into the eye. It will only cause it to penetrate the eye. So be sure to grab some kind of a carrier oil, like fractured coconut oil, avocado oil. Olive oil is a really good one too. That's recommended. And then that can help flush. There's a lot of resources online that you can go and find various safety tips. So if you've got any other questions that I haven't answered today, I would welcome you contacting me. Let me know. If I don't know the answer, I will research it and find your answer. If you go to my website, oilswithamyo.com, and click on the contact me page, that will send me, your information, and I can get you whatever answers you need. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up then today. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this informational and informative and of value. And again, my website, oilswithamyo.com.